Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Can We Be Frank show. Hello. Can you hear me? I'm my co-host.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So, is everyone tonight? It is Monday. Oh my God. And you guys, look, we're at the end of the week almost. I mean, the month already. It's like fascinating. Wow. Okay. So tonight's show, I want to talk about and I said I am trying to understand this, and I am truly trying to understand this because there's a lot going on the external world, right? A lot of the stuff that's going on with your uh what's his name? Your president, because I don't claim him. But the president. But I want to talk about something I saw this past weekend that really kind of and it's something we've talked about a long time ago. We actually did a whole show on it, but I want to bring it back. I want to understand. Let me close my office door because it's open and my dogs keep running in and out like they outside. Give me a sec. Okay. 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 All right. All right. Okay. So here it goes. Okay. So I'm still trying to figure out. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out with our black people what is wrong. Something is. Wait a minute. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hold up. I gotta make sure I can see some stuff on here. Okay, let me put that down. Okay, I'm trying to figure out some things when it comes to us as African American people. Um, I don't know what it's gonna take for us to really pay attention to what's happening to us right now. And I'm not trying, I'm not in the mode or in the mindset to want to change everybody's mind, but it's so important that we at least educate our black people. I'm not about, and let me say this so you don't get me, my words get minced at all. I'm about educating our people because our people is priority. For some reason, we're not priority in anybody else's life, anybody else's situation, anybody else's issues. We're not priority. So because we're not priority and there's nobody standing in the gap for us, I want to be that standing in the gap for us. And I think Universal Collective Network has done a very good job of doing that. And people can say we're racist, we're this, we're that. Say what you want about us. But what we will say is we're going to tell you guys, and we're going to have receipts talking about the issues and situation that's dealing with us, not black and brown people, black people, because that's who's our priority. Nobody looks out for us. Everybody wants to demonize. They love stealing from us, but they want to demonize us at the same time. Everybody seems to have a love-hate relationship with us, but they don't have love and hate relationships with the oppressor. I don't understand that. Everybody gets cognitive dissonance when it comes to us, but they don't get it when it comes to them. They get Stockholm syndrome when it comes to the other people. And that to me bothers me. I think that's my biggest inner battle I have when it comes to me trying to do the things that I do. You guys know I do empowerment coaching. You guys know I do the readings and stuff like that. That is just one side of me. I know where my heart is. I know where all my passion is. It's in all those things. But I am definitely an activist for my people. I am definitely. I am a mama. I will say some things about our young ladies that shouldn't like chastise them, but I am also about protecting them because that's what I'm supposed to do. And so when I say that, it's nothing mixed up about me. I am kind of bipolar sometimes on certain situations, but when it comes to my people, I'm a ride, and I'm gonna correct you when you say some crazy stuff about us. I'm talking about the ones. I'm talking about the ones who can't speak for themselves. I'm talking about young girls. I'm talking about young women. I'm talking about young men. I'm talking about young boys who cannot speak for themselves, who don't understand what's going on. I'm there for them. And that's how we all should be. We all should be the mothers and fathers of our kids. Now, I will say some of our children, once they're gone, they're gone. And I'm not talking about dead. I'm talking about as far as not wanting to obey or be disciplined for the things that they're doing. I don't want to say obey. I want to use the word discipline. And nobody can teach them. We can't save all of them, but there are a lot we can save, and we can save them by educating them. So I want tonight to be that night. I want to talk about some things, and I want to share some videos with you guys. And the first video I want to go to is the video where, I don't know if you guys heard of the channel. It's a channel called Jubilee. And Amanda Seales, if anybody knows who Amanda Seales is, she's an actress and a comedian. And she's very radical, and I like that about her. And she's not apologetic. Now, some things I'm not agreeing with her on, but majority of it I will agree with her on. And so she had the opportunity to do a debate. It was supposed to be a debate with 20 Black conservatives. And what was heartbreaking for me was the ideal that our young Black people, these were young people, or maybe the oldest might have been 40 something. You guys, they are truly clueless on what really is going on. They're not only truly clueless, they're not even educated enough on their own history because they've done so much assimilating into the other history that they're not even comfortable and they're clueless about their own history and everything and if they even know about the history, the comprehension of what they know is crazy. So it's like, she said, I couldn't even debate them. She said, I had to turn around and educate them. She said, it turned out to be an education moment and not a debate because they were clueless. So I want to show some of those clips from that because I want you guys, if you didn't get a chance to see it, I want you guys to understand this is our future. These are the ones who's going to be signing off on our Social Security checks. These are the ones who's going to be our doctors and nurses, okay? And they are clueless about us. They're clueless about their own history. And even the ones, there was one man, he was an older guy, and he was telling about his grandfather being in the Navy and his grandfather moving up in the ranks and stuff, and how they did the pull themselves up by the bootstraps and all that. If anybody knows anything about the Navy, and my son is a former Navy, is a veteran from the Navy was one of the last services that would integrate. They refused to integrate. They fought to the bitter end to integrate. So just imagine his grandfather moving up the ranks, and he probably was one of the what we call bootlickers or ass kissers, can say that word, or sellouts that moved up the ranks. I don't think he moved up the ranks without facing any type of racism, especially back if he's the great grandfather or the grandfather, because Navy was very racist. So what I say is your grandfather assimilated himself into being this great person in the Navy, because Navy did not believe in, they did not want to integrate at all. They fought to the bitter end. That's why I have something against Navy. I do. I understand there's a lot of African Americans in the Navy. I know they've done a lot of Navy, but they were the last. That's what I remember about the Navy. That's why I didn't want my knucklehead son to go into the Navy, because I knew already the history of the Navy. So when he sat there and bragged about his dad, his grandfather, and how they did so well and all this, I'm thinking to myself, do you know the history of the Navy? Because I guaranteed you, his grandfather assimilated himself to get up the ranks. He was one of those, okay, whatever you want me to do. That's what I got out of his conversation about his grandfather that he was so proud of. Because I know back in that days, we were not well accepted in the Navy. So when you don't know your history, you can holler Black culture all day long and how proud you are of it. But if you don't know the people who built that pathway for you to be in your Black culture and walk around the way you walk around, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. So I want to share that with you guys tonight. I want to share some of those clips from that tonight with you guys. And I want to show some other stuff too. And I want to go into a couple of I think I put up one book. I'm going to put up a book and kind of share some things with you from the book. And one of the books that I definitely picked up that I have in my library is The Sellout. And I think we talked about it before, but we're going to talk about it because I think it goes along with this video. So give me a second. I'm sorry I had to get all that out. And the disclaimer is, when I'm talking, I'm not angry or anything. I'm sharing. And I want you guys to get educated at the same time. Okay? This is about us. I'm not trying to hate on nobody. I'm not none of that. I just want us to stay focused and be very more, we need to be more educated about our past and about our history and about our ancestors. It's not always about slavery, okay? Because we were not all slaves. So it's about us knowing where we stand in this whole craziness, okay? Where our positions are. So give me a second here. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start with this one first. Let's see here. It's this young Black chick. Okay. No, let's start. I want to start with this young man right
Put
here.
blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears.
Sorry, you guys. Okay. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay. It's not playing. Did I do something? Give me 1 second. Let me see if I turn it down. It's up. Let me go over to my sound. Yeah, it's on. Okay. Oh, you guys, Can you guys hear me? Stop sharing for a minute.
Yeah, I can hear you. It was playing at first, but it's not playing no more.
Yeah, it stops playing. Give me a second. Let me see what happened. Give me a second. Oh, you know what? Okay. It was down. Hold up. Let me go back. I apologize. Now,
Well, first I'll start with it will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider Black people equal. And it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to shifting the mindset around the use of Black people as a labor force in this nation back when it was slavery, now in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So on a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad, we see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede Black people. So the reparations you're talking about are not just related to slavery. There's reparations that have been discussed all over this nation in different communities as it relates to particular massacres, as it relates to redlining and the impediment of Black people to earn wealth by having property. There's been impediments in various ways that can be repaired. And I want to also just add, there's reparations that are considered a cash payment from a government. There's also the version of reparations that shows up in how funds are applicated to specific groups of people. So there's multiple ways in which what you're stating cannot happen could very well happen.
When you've got smoke-free satisfaction, you've got the freedom to do things.
Okay, now as far as the money going towards certain things is going to help us, let's look at Baltimore Public Schools. They get, I think, the third most money per pupil in the US of A, like $15,000 per student, but yet the majority of the population that comes from that environment can't read. They're illiterate. So we're dumping money on the situation, yes, but yet we're not getting the results we should get from it. Money's not going to help the thing. We need to just focus on what we need to focus on. As far as Black people being labor force of this country, what else are we doing? We got 25% of us on some kind of government assistance. 1 out of every 3 Black men will go to jail. We got to do something. We got to work with our hands, work with tools, do something, because we're not doing much of anything. And also, one more piece here. Reparations, again, always in front of us, never going to happen. As long as you've been living, as long as I've been living, as long as everybody been living, they say we need it, and it never gets done. One more piece.
You just said one more piece, then you're adding another one.
I promise.
So hold on to it.
I'm gonna land the plane. I'm gonna land the plane. I promise. Reparations is a thing. Like I said, it's a carrot that's dangling in front of us. They're never really going to get it done. And if it was going to get done, it would have already been done. It's just something that they're using to try and make us stay Democrat. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, Democrats are not doing reparations either. This is nonpartisan. This is Black partisan, baby. Okay.
Well,
this is nonpartisan.
Who do we vote for? Who do we vote for 93% of the time? There's no incentive.
To be quite honest, you're not talking to a Democrat. You're talking to a radical.
Okay, but let's land this plane very quickly.
Who
do we vote for?
Let's land this plane quickly.
Who do
You're
we vote
talking
for?
to a radical, not a Democrat.
Okay,
and
you
so,
are your own person.
Let me
but
tell
who do
you something
we vote
now.
For?
I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how we're going to get clicks, stop it now.
Oh, no.
That's not how we're going to. That's not how we're going to enter.
We having a debate.
A debate does not require continuously cutting somebody off.
Okay, no problem.
Now, I do want to state this. You're stating things as it relates to how money is not fixing a problem without acknowledging the fact that the problem doesn't exist in a vacuum and that there are so many other factors that are determining how that money is getting spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum. The other part of this is that when you're saying they, the they is a broad context. And the last part of this that I will say is that you keep saying they're dangling this in our face. They're dangling in our face. Slavery lasted for 400 years. It hasn't even been 400 years since slavery. So should we be only fighting for a quarter of the time to get repair?
All right. I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
All right.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
My name is Matt Nuclear.
Hello, Matt. Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that. Let's do it.
I appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful Black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence, especially Black on Black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violence.
Now, you guys, if anybody knows me, I cannot stand that phrase, Black on Black crime. I cannot stand that phrase because it is so not true. It is so not true. But everybody, and we are so indoctrinated to say that. And I wish we as Black people learned there is no such thing as Black on Black crime. Because in that case, we need to continue putting white on white crime in our vocabulary. But it seems to be something we always miss to say. We can jump up and say Black on Black crime, but we will not say white on white crime. I don't get it. I don't understand that. And if you knew the true meaning behind Black on Black crime, why it was even a phrase put together by a white man, so that they can continue to push mass incarceration, to criminalize the Black man or the Black woman. That's what that was put together for, and it worked. And we say the same dog on thing. And we'll say it with proudness. And it's poison to us, and we don't even realize it. It's poison to the mind of our people by using that phrase.
Crimes consistently, a $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that Black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of Black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. What? No one here is in.
Are you
being
acting
impinged on
right now?
anything.
Do you
I'm
really
I'm
believe
telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America.
Oh my God.
What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been.
Did you hear this? Did you hear? This is embarrassing. This is a young black man.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not black. She established that later on. So
Yeah,
what we have in America, we have these things called tethers, right? And tethers are people that look like us, but absolutely do not reflect any of our views. And what they do is they attach themselves to BLK, like what Reddix does. Like they attach themselves to the BLK community, but they serve another master, right? So what you'll find out later on in this clip is this child that's talking to this grown ass woman isn't even from America. Neither of his parents were born in America. They were born in Angola.
Tamar, why are you telling Vanilla?
Huh?
Stop telling.
Well, I'm just saying that's why his point of view is trash, and you called him a black person, and that's why I had to say that, because he's not black. He's absolutely not black.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor?
What? King Von? What the hell? Oh my God. Okay. I'm done.
When black men are more likely to kill me.
Oh my
Tell me.
God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now.
Okay.
Okay. So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that Black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism. And we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate Black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist, and stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to.
Now, that piece she just spoke on, we talked about this several years ago about Peabody.
Yeah.
We told y'all that the reason why Jock Roy wouldn't put a grocery store that was equitable in that neighborhood is because it would actually lend to the tax base of that community.
Yep. Sure did.
We told y'all that, and you got all these coons out here. You got all these tap dancing Sambos out here ready to go to war behind Jock Roy. But Jock Roy is the one that made sure that y'all didn't get no equitable food source. He's the one that told y'all that Food Town was equitable.
Yep. That was in 2012 when they were going to put a store down there along with those apartments. Remember when they built those apartments? That
was another part of it too. They didn't want stores. They didn't want stores down there because the stores contribute to the tax base. That's why you have that Hodges Stockyard looks like it looks. It was supposed to be a shell for stores. They were going to be able to put a whole entire shopping center down there. But the people like Deborah Randolph and the Chamber of Commerce do not want any any Black community with any type of revenue getting generated from their tax bases, because that's the way you keep poverty up. But if you could run back that one last part again, and maybe it'll sink in.
Okay, hold up. I'll do that.
onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism, and we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate Black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist. And stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in 3rd grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor. Then how is that not systemic? And if you want to
stop them from entering prisons,
how are you going to stop people from entering prisons if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So how does King Von happen? How does King Von happen?
King Von
reparations. Actually, no, let me land the plane. We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And the fact is, reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, Black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that Black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and then there is remunerations. Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one point that I wanted to say? Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young age.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority. Okay. Please return to your seat.
Do you see how he didn't know the difference between those? Did you easily see he didn't know the difference between either one of those?
A lot of those people don't know the definition of racism. A lot of them don't. I discovered that tonight. They have no idea what the actual true definition of a racist and what racism is.
Nope. They're clueless, but they're sitting up there. And at the end of the day, and I want everybody to understand this, at the end of the day, if something was to go down, they'll be right along with us. I promise you. I promise you they will be.